Hi guys, long time no see. Sorry about that. That don't post videos regularly lately, but the heat get me sick. I've been in the front of the fan all day long, and with nauseous and dizziness, drinking water, and well, for you guys that know how to be pregnant in summer when the temperature is 90 or more, you will know how I feel because it's not easy. But today I want to do a couple of question answer video. I was checking in my comments and I noticed that some of you have question about gardening, and I'm going to answer that in a moment. So right now, notice that the first question I have, that how much space I have to work for my garden. I still don't measure it because I don't have something so big to measure my garden. So cats. Basically, if you know the measure of a single trailer, mobile house, you will know the space I have in length for my garden. It's almost the same depth for that. It's not big compared with other yards, especially when I have the chicken coop, a chicken run, dividing between my shady area and my sunny area. So for crops that is full sun, I really don't have a lot of space, and some of the space my greenhouse is taking that space too. So that's why it's like a jungle right now. I'm going to come back for that question later, when maybe when my husband help me to measure the garden because I'm not very good in that. So the second question is, do you have problem with cats digging your garden? Yeah, especially my raised beds. What I do is make a fence with this is plastic fence mesh. I buy it last fall, $9 the roll. Now it's more. I have to wait until this is in clearance again. I put some stakes, bamboo stakes, and make the fence with this, and another spaces that can have another raised beds that can have the dip to put bamboo sticks. I have this Dollar Tree for the dollar store, well, the trellis, and I put this in the edge, all around the edge of the raised bed, and that helped for the cats, because I lose some crops, especially onions. They love to make a bed of the onion plants, and I lose the crops because they then break the top and I don't have onions. So I have to do that. And my dog too like to sleep in the raised beds, and I have to train her with that, and sometimes, well, my dog is a mix of Chihuahua and I don't know what else. So if you have a Chihuahua, or you know somebody that have a Chihuahua, you know they're very difficult to train. So I just decided to do this fence, or do a trellis fence, to protect my raised beds until the crop is big enough to don't break easily. But yeah, right now my cats are not digging and taking the raised bed like potty, like cat litter. But when the seedlings are young, they take to do that. What I do is have like a cabin. I make a cabin so they can sleep in there in the day in the garden, and in the roof have some stackable planters with cat grass and catnip, and they love it. And that start this year, and they are better than don't digging and being between my plants, and that's a relief, really. So yeah, that's the two things that I do, and I don't know what I'm trying to decide what is best. I'm thinking about depending on what raised bed you have. I have some shallow raised beds, that's why I have this. And when I have deep raised bed, I can do the bamboo stakes and do this fence. And I prefer this that metal mesh, because you can put it like this and put it away and don't take a lot of space, and it's easy to cut it to fit too. So yeah, and like everything that is plastic, if you take care of it, and it's made for outside to withstand sun too. So I'm just going to use it until it's break and it don't work anymore. So I hope that I have a couple more years with that. The third question is, how long I've been gardening? Well, officially in my adult years, this is my third year gardening. And when I've been living here in this trailer park. But I grew up in the countryside in Puerto Rico. My mom have chickens for laying eggs, have ducks for laying eggs. Sorry, I have a street cat that is speaking with my other cat, so I hope those terrified. So, and my mom still have sheep, black sheep, yeah. Sorry. So we have those animals. We have a big garden, big land with the tropical cherry that is acerola. Well, we call that cherry in Puerto Rico acerola. I don't know in other countries call it another name. That happened. We have mango trees. They're huge. We have avocado trees that were huge, and other fruit trees too, even coconut trees. I don't know if I'm trying to remember for the eyes of a child, that eyes of a child, everything in the world is so big. But yeah, what is a big land that we have? I think acre or more. And then the neighbor have horses, and the other neighbor have a lot of chickens, because, well, in Puerto Rico, chicken fight, the cock fight, is legal. So that neighbor trained his roosters to fight, and he have geese too, I remember. So yeah, I grew up in that environment until 7, and then because family matters, we moved to the land of my family that have been in my family for 100, 200 years. Yeah, a lot. Yeah, that's a lot of years. Wow. And we have there's a lot of trees, fruit trees, chickens for laying eggs, for meat. When I was 4 years old, one of my cousins showed me how to kill a chicken, and then take the feathers, and then I take that chicken to my aunt, and she make a stew. I remember that was so good. So yeah, I grew up in that environment until 1980, 98. Yeah, 1998. That
Hi, Mom.
hey girls,
What are you doing?
making a video.
Mwah.
Sorry, accident happens. Then the Hurricane George was almost similar to Maria. What happened like 3 years ago, 4 years ago. So the house where we have lived for almost 2 years that time, the hurricane just destroy everything. We lost everything, and I was just 8 years old at that time, and we had to live like refugees for 3 months. We passed Christmas in there, and then we moved to apartment by New Year, and we lived in apartments until I married. And then we have our first house. That was the house that my husband grew up. And believe it or not, all those years that I was not in contact with nature, I developed allergies, a lot of allergies, even to grass. I can't at that time I can't walk barefoot in grass, so I had to introduce myself again to nature, so my body can have not those allergies. So it was really strange, and I was like making the plans for build a garden there in our backyard, and a flower garden in the front yard. And then my husband found a job here in the States. And then, sorry that this answer is so long. I had to pause and put away all my plans for gardens and all these dreams to produce food, and until we moved here after 3 years living in the States. Because here I have a yard, and in my mind was like, oh, I need space to produce food, to make a veggie garden. And now that I've been learning a lot in these 3 years of officially gardening myself, I was thinking like, I have the possibility to do a good garden and produce fruit and veggies in a balcony. Why I don't do that? But yeah, you're always learning every day something. Not because you are adult or grown up, means you're still learning. Does not work like that. So yeah, I've been gardening officially for 3 years, but I grew up in the countryside with fruit trees and growing food and livestock for food with my family in Puerto Rico. Sadly, I'm the only one that right now is growing something, food and livestock, because we have a problem there in my family land. Monkeys that are not native to Puerto Rico, and they eat the crops, and yeah, so my cousins and my aunts are like, we can't grow anything right now because the monkey eat everything. And that's sad. That's show what happened when you introduce a species that are not native and don't have predators in a country. Yeah, that's happened. So so sadly, I'm the only one right now of my family that producing food, but they are learning, and I hope that can motivate themselves to start growing again. So the other question is what I do to prepare my soil. So that depends what soil I'm preparing, because I'm growing different methods. I'm growing containers like this one, and I'm growing raised beds. So the soil preparation have to be different between those, because with containers you have to have peat moss or coconut peat, or something like that retain moisture, and because this is a litter soil that have to have everything of the nutrients and that a plants need to grow, and the moisture too. So the preparation for that container soil is different to the raised bed. So for raised bed, when I already have the soil first, well, if I'm going to fill a raised bed, I first like to do like I do this year. I put the bedding of my chickens first, so I don't have to buy so much soil to fill that raised bed. And then I put a combination of topsoil, garden soil, and manure, cow manure. I use this year black cow manure, and I really like it. My plants are so healthy, and I'm going to put I just have to put slow release fertilizer. I have to do that this couple of days. And the rose release fertilizer is, you have to put it like, depending how much plants you have in the raised bed, and you can put it like every 3 weeks, between 3 or 6 weeks, all depending on how much you plants need that food. But for raised bed, you're always going to be have more nutrients, because the roots can go down and find the nutrients that they need, especially when the bedding of my animals are in the bottom that decompose, and they make more nutrients for the plants. That's a good thing. So that's what I do for my raised bed: topsoil, garden soil, and count manure with slow release fertilizer. Yeah, you will think, oh, that's a lot, but it's not. You can buy 1 bag of topsoil, 1 bag of garden soil, and 1 of manure, and fill like 3 raised beds, because I use a portion of it. And now that I'm making my own compost, can amend the beds with that too. For container, what I do for amend them is I take the half of the soil of that container if don't have a plant in it. If I have perennial plants, I just top it with a little bit of container soil, and that have manure and all the nutrients that need, and a peat moss. If I'm making my own mix that I started to make this year, I make a mix of peat moss, or if you don't want to use peat moss for whatever reason you don't want, coconut peat too, and I can use container soil, but the container soil have peat moss already, so you can, if you're doing the mix yourself, peat moss, manure, or compost, and I mix to some release fertilizer and perlite or vermiculite. Perlite, what it do is make air pockets. I make that the soil can drain, because the 2 things that is dangerous if you don't do the mix that can happen in a container is that it's not well drained, because then they're going to accumulate a lot of moisture or water, and plants don't like to be if they're not aquatic plants or bug plants, they don't like to live in with the roots in water. So or the soil don't retain enough moisture. So peat moss or coconut core or peat is for retaining moisture, and vermiculite or perlite is for help drain and make air pockets, because the bacteria that live in the soil that you want to create, the bioenvironment in that soil for your plants, need those air pockets. So that's the mix that I do for my containers. So when I'm going to amend my containers, I just take half of the soil and put that mix that I do and the container, and I don't throw away the half of the soil that I take for the container. I just use it and mix it with the new mix for another container, because every year I just add more containers. I think it's the problem that every gardener have. So, and then that leave us with the last type of soil, that is the seed started soil, and that's a little bit different. I just use a combination of peat moss and manure or compost, and perlite or vermiculite, and some seed starters mix that are just peat moss. But the thing is that you have to fertilize those seedlings earlier for them to have the nutrients. with I noticed making the mixture this year with the manure or warm cast or a compost, is that I don't have to almost fertilize my ceilings almost until I put it the ceilings and in the garden to grow. So yeah, I like that because I'm a mom and I'm a housewife and I have a lot of things to do, and if something helped me to don't skip a step, why don't do it? It's like it's a hack of gardening. Just do the mix of your starters, synth starters, so you don't have to fertilize your ceilings so early. I have a couple of videos about the four question about how I prepare my soil. The mix of my starters, seed starter, and how I fill my raised beds. All that. And my containers too. I'm going to put it below. We'll see, because my computer is not working, so I'm editing and doing all the videos in my cell phone. It's not impossible, but it's a little more of work that I like. So yeah, that's all the question I have. If you have more questions about gardening, right now that is supposed, and a lot of states are starting to think fall gardening. I'm not starting to think that yet here, because this is South Coastal Georgia and it's hot until September, almost October, and things like lettuce, the fall crops, they go to seeds when the temperature in 80 and 90 degrees. So I had to think like I don't want my ceilings to go to seeds. So I have to think about the time I have to grow, sow those seeds. I just preparing myself, buying the seeds, buying the cells. That they were my presents for my birthday. I had to buy the materials to make the mixture. So yeah, I have that. And then I'm going to have time to take all the tomato plants that are not producing anymore, all the things that need to just go to the grave of plants, that is the compost bin. So until September, that I start to sow the seeds, I'm going to be cleaning the summer stuff, and so I can have a space. And right now, maybe you're wondering, because I've been telling you in past videos that we're going to move in by November, but things happen. We were like a couple of family emergency, and we have to go to Puerto Rico to visit my mom, because she was so sick at that time. She's better now, not better than I like, but better. And we have to use the money what we have saved for the house to those emergency. And so we are like racing with the clock to prepare our trailer for our baby. because now the goal is to move in the first half of next year. So fall gardening, winter and spring gardening is going to be here in this garden, and I have to think about what I'm going to sow for this summer garden, because we need to move next year. We need to move because this is just 2 bedroom and we are going to have 3 kids, so it's not easy. So maybe I'm thinking about patio tomatoes, determined tomatoes that are going to be more easy to move to a new house by summer or earlier the year. Just depends how we can have all the money for the down payment.
Hi, Mom.
Hey girl. So that if you have the question for that, why we still being here in this year, that we're not supposed to be living here this Christmas, but things happen, life happen, and emergency happens.
But we could have fun when we're going shopping. But we already go shopping, and Mommy take us to stores, not free too. Then we could have.
Yeah, but we go there because we have to buy some things for the chickens, the food, and we had to change the blue plastic because the rain was going in the food. So
Yeah. And we also go to Dollar Tree.
yeah, that's why I had to buy the blue thing. I don't know how to say in English. In Spanish, toldo. What I tell you about touching my face?
That's it.
Don't touch it. That's right.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
So they're motivated. They're going to start school.
Start school.
So that's all for today. We finished
Yeah.
the video.
Uh-huh.
So we say bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye, you YouTubers. I say bye you for the YouTubers.
Yes. So
Bye.
can I talk?
Yes.
Go there. So thank you for everything, and see you next time. Hopefully next time is, I think I know what video is going to be next time. I'm not going to tell you yet. So maybe it's going to be the unboxing for the seeds. Who knows? Well, see you. Bye.